This is a highly requested video. Though I'm not sharing any recipes in this video, I'm going to be helping parents keep their wards or children occupied during the weekends, on holidays, on vacations. I mean, you name it. I'm going to give some very affordable options which you can run to anytime you want to keep the children occupied. So my go-to shops are Melcom and China Mall when it comes to getting items to occupy the boys. The prices are very affordable over there and you get a wide range of things to choose from. So for those of you that do not know yet, I mean, if you're a first time viewer, I'm in Ghana, Kumasi to be precise. So whatever I'll be sharing will be more Ghanaian, African friendly, but of course can be adapted in the Western world as well. So the first activity I'll be recommending is painting. Yes, I got these paint brushes and what do you call it, palette from China Mall. I don't remember the price, but they were very cheap. And get a picture and then let the children be creative, paint whatever thing they want to paint. So I drew something for my boys to look at and then paint, okay. At the time I shot this video, which was a few months back, they did not have an apron. So what I did was to use what we call a plastic bag or nylon, like my Nigerian sisters and brothers would say, to do a DIY apron for them. So this is a book I did for them. Very, what do I call it? Focus, okay. What do I call it? Just something I found on the internet and then I put it together, so one for each child. So they're going to be filling this. I'll give them a couple of colors, pencil, and then they draw and color all the things I've written down. Just something to entertain them, and obviously it's cost effective, like it's cheap. Okay, so this is something you can also consider doing. So essentially, this is a myself book, okay? So any questions you feel like your child should answer, you can put it in the book. And I know I wrote it by hand, okay? So I did all of this in the house, but if you are not up to that task, you can just get a printer, type everything on your laptop or a computer, and then print it out instead so that they can just follow up by writing or drawing or coloring. My second son is just 3 years, so he needed a bit of help, but for the 6-year-old, he was good to go. So you can just guide the kids depending on their age. They don't have to do the activity if they are not up to the task, okay? You know your child better and you know how they can be engaged. So you see, this is another way we use the paint. We try to make our handprints or their handprints in the book. And it was a fun activity for them. They really enjoyed it. Another activity you could try with the kids is cooking. So here we are going to be baking or making some biscuits or cookies. So I got these very small rolling pins for them. I got also some cookie cutters and they really enjoyed the process. It was such a fun activity, a fun bonding activity as well for me and the boys. So it was a lovely thing to do. So whenever they can, choose some simple recipes and then have fun in the kitchen. There's going to be some mess, but you're going to love the process. So the next very affordable activity, okay, I have some waste or scrap paper here. I'm going to write numbers on some of them and then draw a couple of objects on some of them as well. So I'm going to show you how this works, especially for the toddlers. This is like nursery students, okay. So I've arranged the numbers on one side and then the drawings or figures, whatever it is on the other side, okay. So essentially what you're going to do is to point one number and ask your child, your toddler, to look for the object that represents that number. So in my case, I pointed the number 1 and that's the object. Or if I point the object, which is 6 balls, I'm going to require my toddler to find me the number 6, okay. So this is like a mental exercise. If you're in Ghana, you know what I'm talking about, mental, okay, for the toddlers. And I'm doing this shuffle because sometimes the kids can identify the numbers or even the alphabets when they're in order. but cannot figure it out when they are mixed up together. Same goes for the other batch as well. You can tell that I've mixed up the numbers. So all your toddler needs to do is to, when you mention like 12, then they look through the cards and then pick you the number. You can do that for letters as well. For the next activity, I'm going to make some homemade bubbles. Okay, so I have some hot water. I'm adding in some sugar, which will help the sugar dissolve. Once that is done, I'll empty the cup into a bowl to start the mixture. Okay, so next I'm adding some room temperature water, and then I'll go in with some liquid soap or dishwashing soap or dish soap, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then I'll mix all of it very well so every ingredient is well incorporated. So believe it or not, there are measurements you'd have to use to achieve the perfect bubbles mixture. Okay, so I'll leave these measurements in the description box and on the screen as well so that you can make this very simple bubbles. Do I call it recipe for the kids at home? Usually you can find these bubbles in the shops I mentioned earlier. But in case you don't get some or you are far away and you need to occupy the kids, this is a better hack, okay? You can see that my spoon has a hole in the middle. I just melted that part. And that's what I'm going to be using to essentially blow out my bubbles. So if you don't have that container or you don't have an empty container to pour this mixture into, you can just use a spoon and then you're good to go. I'm going to demonstrate so that you know that this is for real. So essentially just drop the spoon in there and blow away. You get the bubbles. You see, that's it. So I had an empty bubbles container at home, so I emptied some of the solution into it. And there it is. The kids can enjoy this for more than 30 minutes, trust me. So the sixth activity I'll be sharing is outdoors, okay, but still at home. So I got this inflatable pool from China Mall. Just fill it with water according to the temperature your child can tolerate and supervise them, let them enjoy the outside when the weather is bright and sunny, okay? The final activity is house chores. So listen, they are not too young to be wiping off a few spills here and there, sweeping a few things off the floor and stuff like that. So please get them involved no matter the agenda. I hope this video has been helpful to any parents out there. Please like, leave a comment down below, share when you are done watching. And until next time, use these activities to help the kids pass out before you pass out and keep blooming.